Hello, I'm James and thanks for joining me for Smart Market Insights here on Kalkine TV. The recent minimum wage hike offered by the Fair Work Commission has come at a highly controversial time. While workers will get some relief from rising cost of living concerns still loom that higher wages could also contribute to higher inflation. This has sparked a debate on whether the massive wage hike was a good decision in the current financial climate. Utilising higher wages as a remedy during times of inflation has been a topic of discussion for many years. One side of the argument suggests that lower paid workers need extra wages to get through high inflationary times. However, the other side believes that wage hikes feed into inflation, resulting in a wage price spiral. Higher inflation is a problem for the central bank, which aims to keep inflation in check by raising interest rates. The Reserve Bank of Australia has been tightening its monetary policy to help tame high inflation. With inflationary pressures rising across the Australian economy, interest rate hikes could be steeper in the coming months. Companies generate higher wages with the limited resources they have, and thus higher wages are often associated with increasing unemployment. Australia's unemployment rate is currently at an all-time low, showing the high strength of the labour market. Businesses have been looking out for more workers as the supply of skilled labour is less than the current demand. With higher wages, this setting may well change. Companies offering higher wages to their workers would have to offset this higher cost in some other facet of the company. This could come in the form of fewer jobs being offered to employees by several companies, and many firms might also be forced to lay off existing workers, cut back hours, or hold off any hiring processes. Another alternative for companies is to pass on these higher costs to consumers. While many companies may not prefer to raise their prices due to the fear of losing out on consumer interest, they could take the cost-cutting route. Either way, the pressure would fall on households to manage higher prices and also job losses. However, the Fair Work Commission believes that moderate and regular increases in minimum wages are not much of a threat, as they do not lead to severe unemployment effects or concerns. Meanwhile, the Reserve Bank of Australia has stated that it will take all required measures to help keep inflation under control. The recent minimum wage hike seems to be an alarming signal for the RBA, as the central bank may be forced to conduct higher interest rate hikes now. Alternatively, the current Labor government has long pushed for wage hikes. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese had advocated for higher wages during his election campaign. Surprisingly, the rate hike by the Fair Work Commission was actually much higher than market expectations. Notably, the Australian Council of Trade Union had proposed a wage hike of 5.5%, much higher than the annual inflation rate of 5.1%. However, the Fair Work Commission announced a wage hike of 5.2%, which is minimally higher than the inflation rate and is aimed at helping the low-income groups. The previous Morrison government held off its decision to conduct wage hikes due to the fear of higher wages feeding into inflation. As businesses manage staff shortages and positions go unfilled, businesses might be forced to reduce their production. This can contribute to a general slowdown in a national manufacturing sector, potentially impacting economic growth. The RBA is expected to conduct more rate hikes in the coming months, which could put additional pressure on mortgage holders and households alike. This pressure will be heightened if the Reserve Bank conducts steeper interest rate hikes due to the recent minimum wage hike. With high inflation and rising interest rates rolling across the country, wage hikes could turn out to be a double-edged sword for Aussies. Alright, well that's all for this edition of Smart Market Insights. Another episode coming your way on Monday. Until then, make sure to keep it locked on Kalkine TV for the latest market insights and business news. I'm James, signing off for now.